What's next?
Oh, well, everybody know who I want next. I want Terence Crawford next.
Errol Spence Jr. wears a taunting t-shirt geared at a fight undisputed with Terence Bud Crawford. That's what I'm going to talk about in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Come right in, smash the like button. Now, Errol Spence, he posted this on his verified social media. About a week since his fight. Tomorrow makes a week. He beat YORDENIS UGAS in his last fight, and that was a unification for 3 belts. He currently has the most belts in the welterweight division. Now, on the potential horizon is a fight with Terence Crawford. Errol Spence did exactly what he has been saying for years, and I got some future videos coming out where I'll examine this and, prove those thoughts. But Errol Spence, he's done what he said he's going to do in the world of boxing. And he says, I'm going to clean up my side of the street. Terence Crawford, he a good fighter. He can clean up his side or, stay busy, stay active, keep the belts, do what he can do. And I'm going to do what I can do. And since that point, you have heard Errol Spence Jr. call out, since he's cleaned up his side of the street, getting that 3rd belt, and the only remaining name top 5 kind of guy that had some value or a belt, since he's went through those guys, remained undefeated and basically unscathed. Now he's been calling out Terence Crawford. And again, I've done several videos about this. So Errol Spence stayed true to what he said he was going to do. The rest remains to be seen. Me, I'm not jumping up for joy for the Terence Crawford fight and Errol Spence fight because I don't know. I don't know what Crawford's next move is. And both fighters seemingly want the fight and are vocal about it. But it's the business, it's the politics. We got to see what that's talking about. I know in the world of boxing, you got to see it to believe it. And that's just where I'm at with it. I want to see it. I want to see a picture of him. I want to see it negotiating or a press release, a flyer, just something that shows me, because it's a long time coming. But I do like this. I like that Errol Spence has been more vocal. Terence Crawford has been vocal. I've said the same thing. Terence Crawford, he's at a position where he's now a free agent. We'll have to see what his next move is. But with Top Rank, he wasn't in the playground and he wasn't in the side that could facilitate or provide the fights that fans wanted to see exactly when they want them to see. Now, him being a free agent, Errol Spence has said it makes it easier. But again, for me, my statement is seeing is believing. Now, your boy Ego hit the road. I was in the boxing gym yesterday. Fans want me to get out and start covering fights again. You guys got to subscribe to the channel. You got to show that love. You got to share the videos. You got to engage with the channel. I love what I do, but at the same time, I'm one person. In the last 30 days, I looked at my YouTube analytics, and it showed me 50% of the people in the month of March that watched my content and consumed it subscribed. But that means 50% of the people watched the videos and didn't bother to subscribe. So I like to grow my channel organically. We need that love. Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe in your Facebook groups, your boxing groups, all that good stuff. 2022 is up. You know what it is. And that'll enable me to do more for the channel. So I do have some footage coming. Devin Haney was training. I watched him spar. Terence Crawford was there in the building. And, it was just legendary work. A lot of talent in under one roof, I guess you can say. This is what I will say from my observations. Terence Crawford is an absolute true competitor. This is not shocking. I've seen Crawford, been to his fights, been to his fight weeks. But if you're ever around Terence Crawford, this is the energy, man. He doesn't want you to be able to beat him at anything. I don't know what it is or, what makes him that way. It's just some people are born with that X factor. And from what I seen yesterday, he's really just about that. He's just about competition. He wants to test himself, things like that. If you say that he can't jump this high, then he's going to try to jump that high. If you say that you can beat him in a game of spades or dice, then he's going to trying to beat you in that, or Jenga, whatever. Like, it's just who he is. So the fight with Errol Spence Jr., I think now is the biggest time. One thing I never really understood, and it was mostly from my view, the Terence Crawford crowd or fans, and even Terence Crawford's team. I remember Bernie put a comment like, you should have stepped to Terence Crawford a long time ago. But I think personally, Errol Spence, with what he's done and how he collected the sides of the belt, some people have used that to suggest that Errol Spence is like ducking, or he was scared, he didn't want to fight Terence Crawford. But to me, I have a whole different take on it. Like, for me, I think Errol Spence is owed some gratitude, because this just made the Crawford Spence fight even bigger. Now, what would have been detrimental hypothetically in the world of boxing is if Errol Spence Jr. lost, or if along the way Terence Crawford lost before they met each other. You know, then you could say something, because you'll be like, oh, what a waste. That was a great fight and we never got to see it. But seeing how both guys have looked good, both guys in their last fight got stoppages, and both guys remain undefeated with belt intact, I don't understand that notion from people, and a lot of the Crawford fans that I've seen in my comment section or just throughout the net saying that like Errol Spence wumpty. Again, that just made the fight bigger. Both guys undefeated. Like, the fight didn't take a hit by Errol Spence collecting all the belts on his side, which, again, as I said in the beginning of this video, that's what he said from Jump Street. He said, I'm going to do all the work on my side. These are easy fights to make. Why wouldn't I take them? Easy fights to prepare me, easy fights to facilitate. In addition, Errol Spence has had some trauma to his eye, car accident, things like that. Makes all the sense in the world. And actually, if I'm really being honest, Errol Spence Jr. dealing with that trauma, nobody would have been mad at him if he decided to fight a couple of Ocampos in there, because when you're dealing with the types of things that Errol Spence dealt with in regards to his personal life, I guess you could say, outside of the ring, it would be hard to hold that against him if he said, hey, I need a tune-up. So he didn't do that. He fought top-rated guys like a Danny Garcia and a champion in UGAS, so a former champion who's never been knocked out, and a current champion who was on a crazy win streak off the best career performance versus Manny Pacquiao, and he collected those belts, making the Terence Crawford fight even more colossal. So I don't really understand any other notion other than the way Errol Spence actually played it, which is to collect, do what you could do on your side and build your profile, build your brand, build your reputation, because Crawford has more fights than Errol Spence. So Errol Spence, to me, he has the heavier names at the times he fought him, because he beat Sean Porter and Kell Brook before Terence Crawford. You dig? So I personally wouldn't prefer it to play out any other way than the path that has the two destined to collide in the undisputed. Because again, if Errol Spence would have just straight away fought Terence Crawford and say, hey, I'm going for this fight, people think I'm 1A, Terence Crawford's 1B, vice versa, then they would be fighting for 2 belts total. Now, as it sits, if they do fight and Errol Spence again is wearing the t-shirts and doing the call outs and I guess quote unquote participating, which is what the fans wanted, you know, they wanted to see this energy from Errol or whatever. Now it just makes the fight bigger, seeing how they're both undisputed, and now it's for all the marbles. You know, people loved when Alexander Usyk was in the World Boxing Super Series and became undisputed. People said they wanted to see Wilder step aside and allow for Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua to fight for undisputed. People loved when Crawford knocked out Ndongo in 3 or whatever to become undisputed, you know, and so on and so forth. Josh Taylor, when he became undisputed. So why would anyone, or Crawford fans or whoever, want Errol Spence to have fought Terence Crawford already when he hadn't cleaned up his side of the street? If you guys have a legit educational, you know, informative and enlightening answer to that, please let me know. Of course, Errol Spence, Terence Crawford as a fight itself would have been good at any moment, but now it's even better because I don't like the term let it marinate and all that, but truth be told, now that Errol Spence has all the hardware that he could possibly get without Crawford, and he says he wants to have a couple more fights and then move up, the time is perfect. It's been stewed to perfection. There's a difference between letting something marinate too long and letting something cook just right. Like if you ever dealt with the slow cooker, the best thing is low heat for more hours as opposed to high heat real quick and rushed. And I really feel Terence Crawford continued to do what he could do. He fought Sean Porter. He didn't have names like Sean Porter, you know, up until last year, at the end of last year. Errol Spence didn't have 3 belts, you know. So at the end of the day, the time is now. Hopefully we get undisputed. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. I'm the best in the business. And I'm up. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation.